according to Eric Levitz writing at New York Magazine, Trump now has an anti-protester intelligence squad. Eric wrote, there's no shortage of reasons why Trump is a terrifying prospect, President Trump. But his attitude toward dissent should be near the top of anyone's list. No politician enjoys having his or her speeches interrupted by protesters, calling them fascist. But few have leaned into that accusation with as much vigor as has Donald Trump. He now employs what are called by his campaign plainclothes private intelligence officers. Now, the way you interpret that are thugs, bully boys, bouncers, hitmen. They are tasked with preempting the expression of anti-Trump sentiments. According to Politico, quote, on Friday, 2 members of Trump's private security team wore street clothes to a rally in New Orleans. One of them, a guy named Eddie Deck, explained to reporters that his duties were now weighted toward intelligence work, researching potential protesters, and assisting uniformed security personnel under the direction of Trump's head of security, end quote. So besides forming a ragtag spy squad, Trump has sought to better control the atmosphere of his events. And he's also instituted a rally opening loyalty oath, which each one of them now, and new restrictions on media who are now placed in what he calls his media pens. As Eric writes, from a certain angle, it may be tempting to dismiss the significance of all this. Trump has a legitimate protester problem. He faces more disruptions per stump speech than any other candidate. So it makes sense that he'd take unique actions to counter these disruptors. And it sounds like his intelligence officers' primary spy technology is their own eyeballs. They're basically bouncers. At a rally in North Carolina, one of their intelligence breakthroughs was discovering that a man in a fascist Trump t-shirt did not intend the t-shirt as a compliment. These guys are really sharp, aren't they? Hey, what is that? What is on your, what is that? What is that? Fascist Trump. What the fuck? What are you talking about here? That's the way bully boys always are, though. I don't care if they're in Germany in the 30s or America now or Spain under Franco or Pinochet in Chile. It doesn't make any difference. Bully boys, thugs, brown shirts are all the same. Anyway, his activities into preempting dissent, eliminating dissent, encouraging his audience by dog whistles again to beat people up is another reminder, as Eric Levitz puts it, another reminder of how dangerous it would be to entrust a pathological narcissist with the powers of the presidency. Although many have linked Trump's rise to that of Adolf Hitler, you don't need to go that far to find an ominous analogy for a Trump presidency. That other champion of the silent majority, Richard Nixon, wasn't too keen on protesters either. And under his administration, the CIA ramped up its spying on domestic dissenters, while his so-called private intelligence officers expanded the definition of subversives to include the Democratic National Committee. You remember that, don't you? Trump has repeatedly said that his crowds should punish dissent in their midst with violence, even offering to personally pay the legal fees of any supporter who, quote, knocks the crap out of, end quote, a protester. What happens when Trump doesn't just have the power to pay legal fees, but to direct federal law enforcement? It goes on, and I feel compelled to bring it up. I know there are. I don't think there's anything more important on the American political scene right now than to politically disembowel this rabid fucker who is single-handedly bringing fascism to the front. Now we all know that fascism has always been just an inch under the surface here. We know that. But it appeared with the millennial generation and the people younger that we were going to drift away from that. But the 30s and on up, or the 35s, 40s, whatever, are still seething with rage because they have been lied to and deceived and treated like shit by both political parties, primarily by the Republicans, the party that they all voted for. They kept voting Republican and getting shit on every time after they cast their vote. So yeah, they're pissed off. They can't direct their rage, though, at the causes of the rage, which has nothing to do with Barack Obama. Nothing. These assholes are too stupid to understand or too ignorant to understand some real issues that should have stirred protest against Obama, like his bombings and drones and targeted assassinations. But these right-wing pissants, they don't care about that. That's nothing. Nothing. But because these white people have been, and they are, I mean, I don't care. You can say what you want, do what you want. Trump is a candidate of the Caucasian racists. He is. There is no question. None. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. You can begin in the morning with Bill Press and then end your day screaming with me, Mike Malloy, weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.